To me, single stroke roll goes through a procedure where I use 3 gears. First of all, I always use rebound, no matter what the speed is. What I mean is that when I start very slow, I play full strokes, which are, the full stroke is a stroke that starts from the top, from a high position, and goes back to a high position. And when I do this, I use the old technique of catching the bounce that everybody talks about. And, Dan Famularo calls this technique the free stroke. That's a way to call it. Or stop at the top, that's another way. And so I accept the rebound of the stick and follow it, basically. I don't do two motions, but only one motion. And this is the first gear for me. If I go a little faster, gradually, always catching the bounce, and I'm still in the free stroke range, or rate, better yet. Now I'm kind of shifting to second gear, which is always a free stroke, but the main difference is that when I go really slow, the stick is not always in motion. I can't do this. The stick, I have to stop the stick. But when I shift to the second gear of like medium speed, which is the speed that we use most of the time, to me, I'm doing the same thing, but now the stick is always in motion. And this is what they call bouncing the ball, because it feels like bouncing a ball. This is the ball, the tip of the stick. Okay, when I audition new students, most of the times they do this. And they say, I can't go any faster than this. That's the reason, because they don't know how to shift to third gear, which is the same technique of, bouncing the stick, but when you go, try to go real fast, you cannot use the hand anymore. It's too much motion, it's too much body involved. So you have to shift to smaller muscles, and you use finger. So it's the same thing, but just less body involved. And to do this, actually, it's not that difficult when you learn how to balance the stick, because all you do is this. It doesn't take a genius to do this. To go back, instead that, choking the stick and all of a sudden hitting the brakes, I can, learn to shift gears backwards. In order to have a smooth transition. So that means that you learn to never choke the stick when you play it, to never do this. But you're always catching the bounce. From slow to fast, and more difficult yet, back to slow. Using the shifting gears concept. Second gear. Going toward the third gear. Third gear. Going toward the second gear, so I'm using my hand a little bit more, as you can tell. I always catch the bounce, and then go back to the free stroke.